show you some easy to farm things in the game or give you some tips. This time, however, I'll be showing you the complete opposite. Titles that are so tedious to farm that only a tiny part of the player base has them. To put things into perspective, let's start with the title that many of you probably already know. The Legend is a title you get for clearing the unending coil of Bahamut Ultimate, which is statistically the hardest regular fight in the game right now.
Is it the hardest of the ultimates, or are all ultimates, you know, just overall hard?
Other ultimate fights, but this one is cleared by the fewest players.
Oh.
And still, you can take a stroll through any capital city and see at least a couple of players with the title, whether that be the Legend, the Perfect Legend, or the Ultimate Legend. These titles pale in comparison to some of the other ones we're going to look at. To make this work, I'll use the website Lala Achievements for the numbers, and I'll filter some of the titles to keep the video interesting. Think of this as a curated list of rare titles rather than the definitive rarest titles in the game.
Okay, makes sense.
Starting things off relatively easy with the title the Azure and the Omega. This is owned by 2.1% of players.
What are these achievements? Mightier than Delta, mightier than Sigma, and Alpha. What?
And is obtained by clearing the raids Alpha, Delta, and Sigmascape 4.0 on Savage difficulty on Blue Mage, synced with no echo. For those
I see. Okay. I see.
Unfamiliar with Blue Mage, it's a limited job that can't be played in regular content, but is played by collecting spells all over the game by defeating specific enemies. Blue Mages are locked to playing with other Blue Mages, which means that to beat the Savage raids, a party consisting of only that job has to be formed. Not only will players have to know the mechanics of each fight.
Oh yeah, I do want to level Blue, I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
But they'll also have to collect the spells needed to clear the content. Blue Mage in itself is niche already, and clearing multiple hard fights like this is definitely no small feat. However, in comparison...
Is there like a... Well, I suppose there is, but like if you want to clear Savage with Blue Mage, are you gonna have like a group of Blue Mages who agree on like which spells they're gonna have? Because I'm just gonna go out on a limb and assume that not all the spells are good.
In comparison to some of the next titles, this is still pretty fun to get. It's unique content and a lot of players love Blue Mage. But if you see anyone running around with the title, you'll definitely know that you have one expert Blue Mage standing in front of you. About twice as rare at 0.81% of players is the next title, the Hand of Creation. This is for the crafting gods among us, and it requires 500,000 Skyward points on each crafting profession. Skyward score is accumulated by completing expert recipe in the firmament during the Ishgardian restoration. To craft these, you need to be...
Is this still ongoing? Or can you still get it?
Geared enough, and more importantly, actually understand crafting. For regular recipes, people get by just using macros. But to craft expert recipes, you need to understand item conditions and all abilities at your disposal to complete them successfully. And even then, it's like 30 to 40 steps. There'll be no leaning back watching Netflix while doing all of this, and it's still going to take you at least 100 hours of crafting, but probably way more than that, because you won't successfully complete each recipe. For an item at maximum collectability, meaning the craft was done perfectly, you get 820 Skyward points. That's around 602 manual crafts.
Is that the stuff you use to like purchase like mounts and portraits and stuff? That's how I first got myself to unlock Permanent at all. I really wanted an Aimrek, like a portrait for my FC room, and I looked up where to get it. And that's how I got myself into this whole rabbit hole of like quest after quest after quest. You can unlock the Firmament. And then I got there and I realized what a freaking grind it was going to be to even get these things. So I still don't have it because in the meantime I stopped doing it. But I plan to go back there.
Per crafter, or right around 5,000 expert level crafts to get this title. None of that takes into account the material guild sync or the time you'll spend gathering them. This is the definitive crafting god title. The next two titles I decided to combine because they're obtained by completing the same content. The first one is the Necromancer, and this is considered by many one of the most prestigious titles in the game, even though it's not the rarest one by far. This title is obtained by 0.48% of players,
Sheesh.
and it requires them to clear all floors of the
There are no rabbit holes in FF14. I'd like some of that copium you got over there.
Palace of the Dead solo, and without dying a single time. The Palace of the Dead is a deep dungeon with 200 floors full of enemies and traps, and it's designed for groups of 4 usually. Players fight their way to the lowest floors, usually in a party, while upgrading their weapons to become stronger. To go through all of this solo and without a single death requires a lot of practice and knowledge about the Palace of the Dead, as well as playing well on whatever job you choose to do it with. Popular jobs for this are usually Red Mage and Machinist because of their survivability and mobility, but some players have taken it a step further and have gone into the deep dungeon on other jobs, making their life even harder. However, if you think the rarest title involving Palace of the Dead is the Necromancer, you'd be wrong. The title Hoarder requires players to find 10,000 pieces of the accursed
Holy
hoard.
shit.
This is treasure found inside the Palace of the Dead.
I think I have like 20.
Players can use an item called Pomander of Intuition to reveal the accursed hoard location on the current floor, provided there is one. To make things more difficult, the treasures can sometimes spawn a mimic trap, which can easily ruin your Palace of the Dead run if you're not careful. All in all, to get 10,000 of these, you have to be an extremely dedicated Palace of the Dead player, and as a result, this title is only owned by 0.017% of players.
Wow.
This is not the rarest title on this list, but it's still 28 times lower than the Necromancer. However, the latter is...
Well, I guess at some point, like, when you get Necromancer, you're not really just gonna go... Like, most people who get Necromancer titles are not just gonna go around and try to get the Accursed Hordes additionally, because by the time they get the Necromancer, they're probably super tired of the palettes.
Just simply because there's skill involved and not just pure luck and the will to grind. The next title is Mahjong Master, which is gained by achieving a rating of 2000 in Domain Mahjong. This title was obtained by 0.36% of players. Yes, that's about 30 times as rare as the hardest to get ultimate raid title, and no, that doesn't surprise me at all. When the average player discovers Mahjong and plays their first game, usually the only thing they're left with is confusion. I wouldn't even...
I tried to play one game, I didn't understand anything and just never came back to it, but I kind of want to because it's not just a Final Fantasy related thing, it's a cultural thing that I'd like to learn. But one of my goals that I still haven't gotten around to.
90% of players never even finished a single game and simply left immediately. However, Final Fantasy XIV's version of Mahjong is so good that some people have made accounts only to play Mahjong. Like this level 18 gladiator here, who is apparently a well-known Mahjong player. All in all, you probably don't have to be a Mahjong god outside of the game to get this title, but you'll definitely have to put some hours in to get there.
I see.
And obviously you'll need the dedication to play Domain Mahjong in the first place.
But if anyone watches this video and decides that they want to try and populate the ranked Mahjong ladder on the Aether Data Center, we might be able to bring up the active number of players from 2 to 3.
Next up is the title for Gold Saucer Enthusiasts. Requiring not only dedication but also pure luck, High Roller is only held by 0.32% of players, which is still surprisingly high. To get this title, players have to win 500 Chocobo races, win 1000 Triple Triad matches, win 100 Triple Triad tournament matches, successfully complete 100 gates, beat any way the wind blows 10 times, win 1 million MGP from the Jumbo Cactpot, and 1 million MGP from the mini Cactpot.
Wow, you actually have to be either super lucky or super grindy. I hope this is not like it's not like at the same time, because that was weird. Because you can still like get well, a great amount of these like 50k rewards or whatever, and just kind of grind towards it. But you really just want the lottery.
Winning the chocobo races is fairly easy, but time consuming. If we assume a single race takes...
Okay, what is the wind blows? I don't actually even think I know that one.
3 minutes, including queue times, we're looking at 25 hours of races, provided you win every single one of them. The triple triad matches are just a long grind,
Easy.
as you can always just battle easy to defeat NPCs around the world. 100 tournament matches are a bit more of a challenge because they only happen once every 2 hours and you'll be matched with other players.
But you can run them for half an hour or so.
Assuming you win every single tournament and sleep in between matches, the lowest amount of time required to complete this is 8 days and 8 hours, and a single tournament can take anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. Completing 100 gates and the Anyway the Wind Blows events is pretty easy, as these happen frequently and are pretty easy to do in comparison. The mini cactpot and jumbo cactpot are mostly based on luck, but dedicated daily farming. You can, like, there's skill involved in mini catbot. Yes, there's luck, but you can also miss out on your catbots if you don't know what you're doing, so... It's required, as there's no real way of speeding this step up. All in all, this title shows some dedicated farming in the Gold Saucer, probably over the course of multiple months or years. World Class Trawler is the fishing title that I decided to put on this list, with the other option I considered being Master of the Sea. Both are required from ocean fishing, where you board a vessel and fish to accumulate points. Master of the Sea requires a run where you achieve 20,000 points in a single voyage. I haven't been on a ship yet. I really wanna do fishing, but it just feels like my life is too hectic to go fishing right now. I just really want to go back into and do this side content. It feels bad that I just haven't been committing myself to it. This title is held by 2% of players, making it relatively common. World Class Trawler, on the other hand, requires a total of 3 million points from ocean fishing, and this was obtained by just 0.26% of players. Oh, I see. If you're an expert fisher able to get 20,000 points every single run, it's still going to take you 150 ocean fishing trips. However, these trips are still pretty fun to do and yield. How long does this one fishing trip last? A good amount of scripts, so this title is one of the more enjoyable yet still rare ones to get. It's just a damn long grind for dedicated fishers. We're now getting into the last 3 titles, and things are starting to become ridiculous. Ultimate Thrill Seeker, held by 0.19% of players, requires you to kill 5,000 S-rank hunts. The S-rank hunts need special map conditions to spawn, with multiple days between each attempt. They are found and reported on special hunt discords unique to each server, and are usually killed within 2 or 3 minutes of the ping going out. If you manage to kill 5 of them every day, which would still require some... So you just pretty much have to no-life it and just kind of sit there and be ready to go. Luck with the spawn times overlapping with when you're actually playing and you're not actively stuck in a duty. This is still going to take you right around 3 years. The amount of dead people. Happy hunting, I suppose. Next up is the PvP title in this list, the Alpha Wolf. Not only is PvP not very popular, resulting in long wait times, but it's also just an absolutely soul-crushing grind. To get this title, you'll have to win 5,000 matches in the Feast or the Fold. The latter has been removed, leaving only the Feast, which is also due to be removed very soon. So you won't be able to get the title? Time limit on this PvP mode is 6 minutes, and assuming you have a 50% win rate, you will have to play a total of 10,000 matches, leading to, in the worst scenario, 1,000 hours of pure PvP, not counting queue times. Oh my god. This is truly a title for dedicated PvP fans. And as such, it's only acquired by 0.032% of players. Here's to hoping that the new title will still be available when the new PvP mode releases. Do you think that they will change, that they will like take the title and rework like how you get it by them implementing like the new PvP mode into the requirement? Undoubtedly, the rarest of titles is the luckiest of ladies or the luckiest of lords. This is received for doing treasure maps, more specifically raiding the deepest sloughs in the hidden canals of Usnair for a total of 20 times.
What's Usnair? I
This
don't
is
even
part of
know.
a special treasure map called a Thieves Map. This map can't be bought on the market board, but can only be obtained by doing other 8-player treasure maps. The drop rate for
Okay.
those is already very low. So getting your hands on these, unless you have a dedicated treasure maps group, is going to be a
I
challenge.
see.
But on top of that, you also have to do the
How about Party Finder? Would people ever advertise these things on Party Finder, or do you just like go with friends you trust?
treasure map and actually reach the last room. I've been doing treasure maps every now and then for a couple of months now, and I've only ever gotten a single one of these. So to get there a total of 20 times is going to be a ridiculous time investment, or you have to be personally blessed by Yoshi P. If you find anyone with this title, avoid death rolling them at all cost, because they hold a title that requires RNG and is only held by 0.011%
That
of
is
players,
ridiculous.
which is just
Okay, is it wrong that like when you watch these kinds of videos, they make you feel a little envious, just like a little bit? You know, I'm feeling it.
17 of the characters registered on Lala achievements globally. Those were all the titles for now. I hope you guys enjoyed the video.
That was a good
Something
video.
a little different than usual.
Made me
And
feel
I'll see you in the
bad.
next one.
But that was a good one. No, I'm definitely just I don't know, these kinds of videos kind of snap me out of my normal behavior a little bit, and they're like you know, they make me want to do more stuff with my time in game for sure.